above your head, and then moving back and forth toward it. It just has a certain look to it.
Man, I wish I had my Rubik's Cube just like messing with it right now.
I got a Game Boy. Does that count?
Yeah,
That does
there you
count.
go.
That does count, sir. There you go.
Yeah.
That was wonderful, Joe. Thank you very much for making us all feel really old right now. This is the countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady. We're talking The Suicide Squad by the one and only James Gunn. And with me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC.
Why are we doing an 80s theme when this is a Suicide Squad review?
It goes with the theme. It goes with the theme.
Guess. Although Pong's from the 70s, I don't know. But yeah, hey, everybody.
There you go. There you go. We also got the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Excited to be talking some Suicide Squad. And let's see how I thought about this movie.
Hater.
No, I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything.
Oh, yeah.
If you say anything bad, you're a hater.
He's going to save it. And making his return to the countdown to the Geekcast, on loan from the WrestleCast, it's the one and only Mike.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike. And since we're doing an 80s intro, I love wrestling, and like Hulk Hogan in the 80s, love always wins.
I could never put anybody over. And the one time
himself,
he did,
all the time.
well, he did put Ultimate Warrior over once, and then he was back to winning the main
But he
event
kicked out at 3.001.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but that's for tomorrow night, guys.
Speaking of a guy who doesn't know that motto, love always wins, Rob is in the chat. He says, shut it, Steady. We already know your overly optimistic views of trash.
If Rob is watching, this is going to be a fun night.
Let the hate flow through you, Rob.
Have you seen the movie, Rob? Rob, let us know if you've seen the movie, man. And let us know what you thought.
When is Rob going to come out on the show, dude? I want Rob to be my brother in arms here, man.
Ask him. He's online. He's on the stream.
Yeah,
Ask him
Rob,
right now.
you need to come out on the show, man, because they can't handle
When he-
both of us.
When he finishes his masters, I think, right? So,
There you go. There you go. Once again, this is the Countdown City Geekcast, and we are all excited because we're going to be talking about the Suicide Squad. If you haven't seen it, we won't talk spoilers right away. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. But we want to hear from you. If you've seen the Suicide Squad, let us know where you saw it, and then let us know what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What were your favorite parts? Do you feel that this is sort of in the upper half of the DC films, lower half? We want to hear from you guys, so drop it in the comments below. We are live both on Facebook as well as on YouTube, and if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and check it out. And we still want to hear from you, so make sure you send us your thoughts and your comments about the movie at a later time. I do have about a handful of comments already to talk about. And so I kind of want to do that. You know
I,
what? We'll do that after our quick overviews. How
I
about
like
that?
Rob's comment here.
Uh-oh.
I told him, when's he gonna come and talk? And he says negative. I don't watch trash. And then his other comment
Wow,
was,
Rob.
what was his
Wow.
other comment? Hold on.
he said, "I feel you, Joe, but I appreciate you holding it down."
There you go.
Yeah,
It wants to what to you, Joe? Feel you?
that's what I heard.
Hold him down or
That's
something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that
hold
sounds that's
something.
inappropriate.
Definitely wants to
Rob.
hold
That's
something.
inappropriate. There you go. All right. Well, look, first I want to get into our general overviews. You know how this works. Just your general thoughts about the film around. We're going to start with JC. JC, your general thoughts. No spoilers just yet about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Go.
Obviously, James Gunn just had fun with this movie, and nobody was safe. It was definitely very gory, very R-rated. It definitely earned the R rating, and it was just fun. It was fun, but I could tell watching this like you're either gonna love this movie or kind of hate this movie or just kind of groan. It's I think it appealed to like a certain audience. Really, he kind of focused on one, but it was overall for me. It was just a fun movie. I think you can tell James Gunn. He said in interviews this was his favorite movie to do, and you can definitely tell that he had a lot of fun with this one. So that's just my overall thoughts. It was just a fun movie to watch.
All right. Joe,
Yeah.
how about you, man?
I thought it was for what it is. It's just a fun movie to watch. You can't take it too serious because it's a Suicide Squad movie. So you know that going in, you just sit back and have a beer. Get your snacks and just enjoy the ride. To me, it was just funny. It had its moments where it was just really hilarious. You're just there laughing. Had some serious moments thrown into it, and then there was a middle part that was just kind of really slow, but it was slow because
Yeah,
of the build up at the end. So right before the final act, it kind of slowed down a little bit, but it was because it was building up to that finale, and it delivered. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just an enjoyable movie to watch. I mean, you got to go into it with the mindset of it's a popcorn flick, man. You're not supposed to ask all these serious questions. You're just supposed to
absolutely.
enjoy it.
yeah.
There you go. All right. And Mike, how about you, man? Overall
Uh,
views.
yeah, I'll reiterate some of the things said. James Gunn clearly had fun with this movie. It had fun with the R rating. Like if you kind of know a little bit about what his origins are in movie making, you could tell he had a lot of fun with this. He again just took a lot of characters. Some you may know, some you don't know, and made you care about certain ones. Um, Made you care about one that wasn't really part of the squad, kind of. But yeah, just like again, fun. I enjoyed it. He made you care about characters that you didn't know much about, but then just went over the top. Really um, went comic book, and I heard this described, so I'm not gonna say like this is my original thought, but I like the idea that he got into comic book things without having to feel the need to explain how they work in the real world. And that was just kind of fun. It just you didn't have to bog down, just get into it and buy into the world. So
Which is challenging.
yeah,
It's tough to get away with those sort of things. It takes a really solid writer, really solid director to make you focus on the things that they feel are important, and get you to not focus on the things that you might stumble upon or think that might be important. So yeah, James is a sorcerer. I said this multiple times on Twitter because he somehow uh, wrote Guardians of the Galaxy in this new vein, this new light. I know we're talking about Suicide Squad. Just humor me for a second. He took a group like Guardians of the Galaxy, who they don't have a lot of flash style, a lot of charisma around them, and he transformed them for the big screen, and everybody absolutely loved it. And so I was really excited to see what he would do with a group like the Suicide Squad. And leading up to it, he said nobody tapped him on the shoulder at WB. Nobody bothered him. Nobody knocked on the door and said, "Hey, James, you doing okay?" He said everybody left him alone.
It's
He
probably
gave
in
him
his
the green light.
contract.
I would assume so.
We got a
I would
comment.
assume.
We got a comment here from my good friend Rudy Campos Jr.
Oh boy.
Rudy, what up,
He
Rudy?
put Suicide Squad. It was like when the hot girl accidentally hit you in the Peter. It hurt, but felt good because she comped to feel.
Oh man, that's one way to put it.
That's
That's
an
absolutely
interesting way
one
to
way to
put it.
put it.
I like that he capitalized Peter in that one. See the Peter. He put, capitalize it. So
We
There
need
you
to get
go. There
Rudy
you
on the
go.
show at
Oh
some
man,
point. He's a big
yeah.
time geek too, so it'd be fun.
absolutely. Rudy, we need to get Jeff back. Get Jeff out of
Oh
his
God,
New York bungalow.
you think I'm a
Is
hater,
Oh
he still
man,
holed
JC?
up over there? Poor guy.
You think I'm a
there
hater,
you go.
JC?
Oh, I've talked to Jeff. You're worse. So
No, Jeff hates everything, bro. He hates everything.
Real quick. So I'll finish this last thought. So James had free reign to do whatever he wanted, and it clearly shows. Right? It's bonkers, zany, wacky, hysterical, absurd, multiple times, and it's from the very beginning of the movie all the way to the very end. And I think that's typical James Gunn, just off the wall, fun, zany humor, and he what he um, he's definitely very good at the humor side of things, but he doesn't lack in the action. He doesn't lack anything visually. Everything still looks high quality, big productions, and it's a great story. It's a small group of villains, most of which don't have any serious superpowers, and yet it's his grand script that he's written involving some very big villain names in the DC universe, literally. And so, yeah, it was a good time. I'm gonna leave it at that before we start to get to spoiler territory. And so, here comes the point of the show where we let you know we're going to be talking about the movie in depth, spoilers galore. So, if you haven't seen the movie, do me a favor, pause this video, check out the film, and then definitely come back and see what we got to say. And then we want to hear from you. If you've seen the movie, just like Rudy, not like Robert, go ahead and let us know your thoughts about the Suicide Squad. Drop it in the comments below, or at a later date, you can always click the send message button on Facebook, or email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdownstothegeekcast.com. Alrighty, gentlemen, the Suicide Squad. We're not going to start this review off without talking about the opening sort of 10 minutes of the movie. We open with Savant, who's played by Michael Rooker, glorious, legendary Michael Rooker. He's so good at anything you ask him to do, and he's not asked to do a whole lot in this movie, but it's totally fine. Rob says, all right, I'm out. One step watched down the road. Appreciate it,
see you in a
Rob.
few months then, Rep.
There you
Yeah.
go. Have a good night, man. Michael Rooker, Savant. Oh, man. In the, not the schoolyard, he's in the yard outside the prison,
It's like
bouncing
a
his little bounce.
courtyard, prison courtyard, yeah.
There you go. Takes out a little canary, and you get a little taste about the kind of character he is. But it's more of Viola Davis, right? Who plays Amanda Waller. And I think we sometimes forget because we see so many casting choices across multiple projects and IP and studios about who they cast in comic book character roles. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller is top tier. We need to talk about that more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We can't forget
Yes.
that, especially in this movie, she takes that character to a whole nother level. And there's multiple moments throughout this movie where you can kind of pinpoint, like, oh my god, she's a beast, she's a devil, She's a devil of a woman, and
Yep.
that's just Amanda Waller. That's comic book Amanda Waller all the way. But let's talk about this opening sequence. They take Task Force X out to I forget how they pronounce it.
Corto Maltese.
Of course, yeah.
Well, the way that they did it with the Portuguese accent was Corto Maltese. I forget how they said it later on.
I don't know.
The guerrilla group says
Freedom Fighters.
freedom
Fight.
fighters. Corto Maltese, something like that. Anyways, they get Task Force X off to the beach. This is the funniest moment throughout the entire movie for me, right? Jumping out of the plane, one at a time, and out of nowhere you hear a screech from the helicopter. Ah, splash. Weasel. Nobody checked to see if the weasel could swim, JC. Jesus, man. And he's just slowly drowning. Nobody moves.
Nobody
until
thinks to
Devon
help him
decides
until he's already dead. Like, oh great! Like, I guess I
until
gotta
he's
save
like
this guy.
floating,
Yeah,
arms up, going down. Oh, thank you, Saban, for saving him. Well, we think that you're saving him. But yeah, talk a little bit about this opening sequence, man.
this had X Force written all over it from Deadpool 2. Really, just this opening sequence was like they showed us
It was a
so
little
much
bit of
of
a
these
one-up,
characters
yeah.
in the trailer. They did it for the Deadpool 2. They filmed extra shit to show in the trailer, and they all died on the way down to the mission, including Vanisher. You know, so I think this has really had those vibes to it. And I thought it was so funny. Like, really, they told you that nothing was sacred. The fact that Boomerang gets killed in the whole scene too, it just was like, wow, people are gonna die in this, like characters you didn't expect. So it was just like, wow, this was crazy, but so funny, just because they showed Weasel prominently in the pull up to it. Pete Davidson's character, I forget what his name was. God, what's his name?
Blackguard.
There you go.
Blackguard. I can't lie. As a fellow Crohn's patient like Pete Davidson, I was excited to see him get a role in this movie. He's done in the first 10 minutes. Oh, thanks. You know, he's the first one to die. Thanks a lot. You know, well, second
Hey,
if you count Weasel, but Weasel lived after all. But so
Sure.
yeah, he's the first one to die in the movie. It's like, thanks a lot. You know, Crohn's
And
Warriors.
he had it coming because he sort
Yeah.
of
He's a mercenary.
he gave up the entire team,
Yeah,
and I'm still trying to figure out if Waller knew that would happen. Or,
I gotta go with yes.
She
right?
had to have.
Yeah.
Because she
Come on.
knows that the whole army is coming onto their position.
Right.
You know, because of what happens a little bit after they pretty much get what we find out after that initial group gets pretty much taken out. So I'm going with yes, that she masterminded that.
Or she knew that Davidson's character, because he's a mercenary, he knew that he tipped him off somehow. Like he was wanting to get paid, basically. So, but
it's one of those things to ponder because it's totally plausible, right? Amanda Waller would put him with this group going in because he would be a distraction, give them up at least, and all the forces would just go to this one area of the island. But if you believe that's true, then you also believe that she's giving up Flag as well as Harley Quinn. Is she willing to do that? Give up Rick Flag? He's on her team.
Dude,
yeah,
she's
but
willing to give up anybody to. I think that's the whole point of her, to get the mission.
Yeah, to get
Flag
the
included,
objective.
like, yeah.
she knew Flag's morality on this, his ethics. She knew that
Yeah.
about him.
You just beat me to it.
Yeah, and with Harley, she'd already escaped once. You know,
Yeah.
Joker broke her out at the end of Suicide Squad. She had the whole
Yeah.
Birds of Prey adventure. She gets, oh, they caught me on a road rage incident at a bank. You know, that's how she gets recaptured. So she doesn't mind getting rid of them. You know, they're going to compromise missions and stuff like that. So, but
If she assumes that Flag's gonna have this big old guilty conscience once he finds out, the plot twist towards the end of the film about Project Starfish, then yeah, she's like, he's not gonna go through with it anyways. So let's go ahead and take him out with the first team. Wow,
that's why she
Waller,
gave
you
Peacemaker some
bitch.
extra.
Mhm.
For all we know, she gave Peacemaker some extra time
Yeah.
off the sentence for making sure everything went down. You know, so
That's incredible.
Um,
Yeah,
But
crazy
yeah,
thought.
let's talk about some of those moments, like right before that too. because you're talking about Peacemaker. When what's Idris Elba's character? I keep wanting to say Deadshot.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Thank you.
Think
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme's movie.
Bloodsport. That's a good
That's
one.
our, that's our remember.
After she introduces him, and then we meet Peacemaker, and she says the exact same thing. It's like, he was trained to kill. He's like, you just said that about me. Anything in his hand is deadly.
Yeah.
Right. So she just put it on for anything.
I had a dead center. I hit it more in the center. Yeah.
But another thing. Okay, I don't know how many of you are a Nathan Fillion fan in general.
Absolutely.
But I feel like we've wanted that man in a superhero movie for a while. Like, he was kind of in Guardians, and he was supposedly in the second Guardians, Mr. Fantastic or something, like on a poster, or I forgot what it was, right? But and so he gets this role, TDK, which is the detachable kid,
Mm-hmm.
and his arms are just annoying them and slapping them. It was great. And then of course he dies because they're shooting his arms.
Or did he?
Oh, he died. He died. He was spitting up blood, dude.
We didn't see him like some of the other things that happened. So
Kind of died in the opening credits. They wouldn't confirm the kill while the opening credits were playing.
There's a fan theory out there that the screens that are kind of like Independence Day when the planes are going down, and just start marking them off one by one. That his screen only says critical condition. It never declares him dead. So Nathan Fillion might still be alive.
I'm always down for more Nathan Fillion TDK, man. That was pretty funny.
Bring him back for the sequel and kill him off even faster than he did this time.
Bring him back for the HBO Max series on Weasel.
Yeah, to me, my favorite character was a Weasel, and I figured he was going to go pretty quick, and sure enough, he went fast, and the thing that was funny with him is that listening to what James Gunn had said about the Weasel, he's like, I didn't want a guy in a costume portraying the Weasel. I wanted a full-on giant version of an actual weasel. So the Weasel had his genitalia intact, which you could see on full display there, as some of the fans had pointed out. Some of the fans on social media, especially on Twitter, were pointing out that. I was like, oh God. But I mean, the Weasel was just fun, and especially when he jumped off of the drop ship, he just drowns immediately. That was, to me, that was just hilarious, man. And then just watching the whole scene unfold as they hit the beach, all chaos ensues. Everybody just they're biting the dust right then and there. So it already set the tone. To me, that was hilarious in the way that the characters were dying. Glorious deaths, each one of them. Mongol was, to me, the funny one too. I got the helicopter, and she jumps up there and grabs it, screaming and yelling, everybody getting sliced in half. Be an
interesting character. Nope.
Yeah, nope. She went down with the helicopter, and you just see her burning.
At it too,
Yeah.
So
you know what? Another thing that I thought was really cool that they did in that opening scene is when everybody's dying, right? After they're dead, they go back and they do close-up shots of every single person that died. Just to an emphatic, they're not coming back. They are dead.
And then
absolutely.
Getting back
Boomerang's the one that got me the most. Did any one of those get you more than that? Just, oh man, Jack Courtney.
But did you see what happened with him, Ted? When they show his body and he's dead, he's still holding on to the boomerang, and it's still lit up white.
Yeah. I really wanted to see more from him. I mean, I thought he was a very underrated character in the first Suicide Squad movie. I thought there's more they could have fleshed out with him. And granted, he was the only one that was in solitary at the end of the movie, but I thought, he showed what he could do. I mean, that boomerang just sliced through two heads like nothing. Like, hey, this could be a cool character. So the fact that they took him out was like, wow, that's funny. So.
Oh, also Javelin, Bulletborg. I've been waiting to see this guy in this movie for so long, and they were talking about how great he was and how funny he is. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. Not one joke, not anything of any level of humor whatsoever that they give this guy to do. So I'm just like, come on.
But he left the greatest cliffhanger in the movie, though.
Yeah.
He with Harley, you're the only one worthy to carry this javelin.
And without that javelin,
yeah,
What did he tell her at the end before he died?
Carry it for
and that's it.
And that was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's like slapping him. For what? For who? For who? He's probably going to
And then-
tell her, carry it for me, so he just left it at 4.
And then Taylor's going to get back because you started this whole thing with Savant. He realizes what's going on and tries to escape. And of course, just like in the first movie, they got to get there. I'm going to prove to you, I'll blow your head off if you don't follow directions. So he gets the full head blown off. And then I love that they brought that bird back to pick at it afterwards.
And then
As
chokes
like-
on it. And then the canary chokes on his guts, which is hilarious. So the canary
you
just
go.
dies there too, which is funny.
I
you know
love
another
that.
thing?
What's that?
Or just real quick, in the first movie, when you find Amanda Waller working in that office, everyone that's working with her is just a faceless computer tech, whatever. Her office were characters to it into themselves and kind of play a big part later on, obviously. So I like that they had personalities. They were betting on the desk before the mission even starts, and then they're
That
paying
was
out at
great.
the end of the mission.
That was great. I
Those
thought
guys
that
were fun.
That was a fun twist that they were taking bets on who's going to die or not. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Wallenstein plays his bets on who's dying. And as soon as I saw that, it gave me the idea, like, damn it, we should have done that on this show. And did like a fantasy draft. I would have figured out a way to make it work, but do it like a fantasy draft on who we think is going to survive to the end of the movie, or at least like the longest, and like give it out points and stuff like that. It would have been amazing, and I'm like, oh my god, that's such a great
Bonus
idea.
points for number of kills or something like that. Yeah.
Style points for the kill.
Anything like
Style
that.
points for
Yeah.
the kill.
So that's how they start the movie, right? They do a little bit of a flashback. I call this out because I mentioned Viola Davis's character as Amanda Waller. You find out exactly how far she's willing to go. She's trying to get Idris Elba's character, who I'm going to say this again 3 or 4 times throughout the movie. Idris Elba is perfect from start to finish. Anything he's asked to do, any role he's asked to play, humor, emotional moments, all of that works. If there's anything wrong with this movie, not saying there is, not saying there's not, it's not going to be on Idris Elba. So glad they brought him in. I think this role was definitely written for Will Smith originally, but he couldn't be a part of it due to scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
That's what we'll go with. I have another theory I won't mention. But, yeah, so Idris Elba's character, Dubois, is his last name. His daughter gets picked up for shoplifting, and Amanda Waller is threatening to ensure she spends a prison sentence at Belle Reve. She pronounces it Reve. I'll go with that. Belle Reve, which is just like the worst place for any teenager to be. And I don't know if it's slightly a little bit of a commentary on the prison system in our country, because time and time again we keep hearing about teenagers who sort of fall in between the cracks, and they get put to these maximum security prisons and have the absolute worst, worst time of their lives in the system, and like that. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a commentary on that, but Amanda Waller, the devil herself, was willing to go that far, put this innocent girl in this horrible situation, and that's just 100% Amanda Waller. Brett's in the chat saying, "What's up? What's going on, sir?"
Hi, Brett.
Talking Suicide Squad. Hopefully you've seen it. If you do, let us know what you thought, man.
Ted, let's take a step back too, though, with speaking of Bloodsport and his daughter, because when Amanda Waller mentions that, I'm not going to lie, because I was like, wait, this is literally what they did with Will Smith in the first movie. But I loved how James Gunn twisted it, and when the daughter and him go to meet, they just basically hate each other, and she's like, just cussing each other out, and he's going right back. That's not what you expect. After you think, oh, this is exactly what they did in the first one. Everything he's going to do is for her. He's like, no, I didn't want anything to do with you. And it was just like, I got to give it to that. That kind of twist out of nowhere.
What made me laugh too in that whole scene is he's like, what makes me even more mad is that you got caught stealing a stupid TV watch, and she goes, it does more than that. And that's when he goes, you know what? Fuck you. And she tells him the same thing.
That was a good enough scene to really separate Bloodsport from Deadshot, because Deadshot cares about his daughter, loves his daughter, do anything for her, wants certain things done.
Absolutely.
Bloodsport just fucking hates his family. And he lets them know, like, I don't want to be associated. You're like a burden on me, whatever. But
Yeah.
that was the scene to say, okay, this isn't supposed to be
Yeah, it
Deadshot.
was definitely a great twist.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who think that that scene doesn't work for them? Meaning that there's like a handful of moments in this movie where I'm like, oh, this feels awkward or a little bit off, or I just get taken out of the moment. So Dubois cursing left back and forth with his daughter.
Mhm.
I'm just like, I don't know if this is meant to be dramatic. I don't know if this is meant to be funny, but it's not working on any level for me. So like, that was the first time in the movie where I'm just like, oh, that feels awkward. I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh.
It's
Even
Yeah.
Elba's like, fuck you. Like he's trying to be funny about it, but I'm just like, it doesn't. I'm not following here. It feels like if they should have leaned one way more than the other. Not a total criticism of the movie,
Mhm.
but it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm just mentioning that like this was the first time I can honestly say in the movie that I was like taken back a little bit.
I mean, it's a cringeworthy scene. Obviously, a daughter cussing out, or a father cussing out his daughter, but it's trying to show, at least on in Bloodsport's eyes, I'm trying to push her away from me so she doesn't become me. She doesn't become who I am, not get locked in the system. And there's studies that people that don't have a good father figure in their life can descend into a life of crime or something like that.
Yeah.
And we talk how this might relate politically. We know about the whole social justice thing, how sometimes people of color are tried a little more harshly than a Caucasian or something like that. So the fact that she could be 16 in Louisiana, a southern state, and tried as an adult for stealing a TV watch, like really, But and of all people, Amanda Waller's making sure that happens. But it's the only reason she's there talking to him in the first place is because of Amanda Waller. And it
Yep.
really reflects back on how messed up she is to get what she needs, So, but yeah, I can see where people think it's cringeworthy, but it really expresses he doesn't. He makes these statements that you're a burden on me. I didn't want you, whatever. But he cares enough to push her away so she doesn't become him, and he ends up having to do this to save her life.
Yeah,
It shows she
Absolutely.
has some morals.
we had a
which she-
comment from Brett. He puts good stuff, fun, entertaining, with some heart thrown in it. He's talking about the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I guess maybe as the one non-parent in the group here, I just thought it was kind of like what I thought originally. It was to use a Game of Thrones word, to subvert your expectations, right? Because you think, oh, he's gonna do it for his daughter. He's got to go, basically get emotionally blackmailed. He was like, no, I don't care about you. I mean, you can get deep into it if you want. I really think it was just played for the unexpected humor of what you would normally assume would happen with the father and his child, and also to kind of remind you that they're bad guys, right? The Suicide Squad is supposed to be villains thrown together, even though inevitably we find heart with them. We see that they actually have, some good to them. They're villains. They're kind of bad guys and bad girls, if you will. So I don't know. To me, I didn't take it too deep. I just thought it was meant to kind of be a twist to what you would expect to happen. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, not taking it too deep. Just for me specifically, like the first time I think this movie stumbles for like a second. Not even like I said, not a deal breaker, not a huge criticism, but I think this movie has a few stumbles, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into another one because it's up next. Um, Harley Quinn is captured right after the massacre on the beach, and she is holding the javelin, and she's in this hole, and she throws out this one line that made me laugh, and I'm still trying to figure out why. But she's calling this army "you Mario Kart racing d-bags." JC, what is the reference that she's talking about? Is there a map called Porto something? What was the beach
I
called?
don't. Oh no, hang on, because I I need to look that up. I didn't even catch that. And I've seen the movie twice. So
You Mario Kart racing D-backs. And I was like, what is that about? It's so random.
but
So yeah,
that's kind of like the genius of James Gunn. He mentioned he was going to throw some random Easter eggs in this, whether
there
it
you
was in
go.
the dialogue or something you see, and I didn't even catch that. That's hilarious.
The
I don't know.
only thing I can think of is there's that one beach
Mhm.
island level, maybe the 64.
Donut Beach or something
Yeah,
like that. I mean, it's been in every Mario
no.
Kart
And the
game. So,
SNES as well. Yeah.
yeah, it's been
Didn't
every
it have like a kind of an exotic name to it?
Koopa Beach or
No, I thought it was something else.
from
Let me know if you.
what's the island in Mario Sunshine? Delfino Plaza or
Delfino
Delfino Beach?
Island. Yeah.
Something
Delfino
like
Island,
that. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
I
So
have no idea what she's calling these guys.
there's a lot of Mario games. You're asking me to remember all of them.
Yes, you are Mr. Nintendo.
Maybe she was just calling them like young video game playing D-bags. Like maybe they weren't, because I don't remember the exact. I mean, I don't remember the soldiers very much. Like I wasn't paying attention to them, but maybe they're all younger kind of guys, and she's just calling them basically like frat douchebags. But obviously they're not frat boys. But
I feel like she ad libbed a bunch of scenes there, and they just kind of picked the best one,
that's probably true too.
and they just went with that.
I can see that.
Yeah. But she was.
Brett,
My thing with Harley in that whole sequence in that scene is she's doing this while she's getting tortured. And they're just wailing on her with the freaking cattle prod,
oh,
Just.
we need to talk what happens before that too,
Yeah.
because that is also something that I wanted to bring up for sure. Before that, Brett says the Elba daughter scene. It was a dysfunctional version of a parent-child banter, but it gives "that's my dad" scene at the end more punch. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I love sort of how it resolves itself. Definitely, so I can see that.
Because she goes from saying I didn't want you as a father to being proud of him at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But you've had a lot of those moments, right? Independence Day. There's that one son whose dad sacrifices himself to take out the mother, not the mothership, but one of the ships, and he said the same thing. That's my dad.
yeah.
Hello, boys. Yeah,
Nah,
so
I'm back.
we get those moments all the time, and I love it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Harley Quinn, because this is sort of towards the end of the first act, kind of the beginning of the second act, and man, I didn't realize how much of a sort of high. What am I trying to say here? An energy breaker it was for me. So Harley is sort of this president guy of this army, Luna,
Luna.
right?
Yeah. Luna.
He's sort of infatuated with Harley Quinn and decides that he's going to court her a little bit. They have this montage about them sort of falling in love and whatnot. They go at it towards the end. Harley's really quick to jump on this guy. And then when he's sort of giving away his entire plan, his entire bad boy scheme, she takes one of these old guns here and shoots him right in the chest. And it's very Harley Quinn,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to figure out why it's necessary. It doesn't. Listen, again, this is not a big deal breaker, right? It's going to lose a little bit of points for me, only because I feel like we didn't need it. It really takes me out of the energy that we had in the beginning. And so I'm wondering if you guys kind of felt the same. If you don't have this Luna president, if you just have the army general from the get go, do you really lose anything by taking out the president and his birds, his flock of seagulls? You could just go
Yeah.
from capturing Harley on the beach to torturing her later on, and I think you don't lose anything. So I think it's just played
The
for
moment was
yeah.
thrown in there just to give you that element of surprise, to show you how unpredictable the characters can be, that everything's not going to be going according to plan, according to the
We got that
audience's
from the opening
plan.
scene, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's the theme of the whole movie. It's to kind of throw you off, and I think with that one scene that you had with Idris Elba, arguing with his daughter, was meant to throw you off. It's unpredictable,
Sure.
and the same thing happened with Harley Quinn. It's meant to be unpredictable and kind of throw you off. It's done purposefully. He did it on purpose.
I think it's also more to kind of say, okay, this guy's obviously like the ringleader. He's the dictator, tries to woo Harley, but as it's mentioned after he's killed, as a SWAT is that takes over, who's played by Joaquin Cosio, who I love in Gentefied. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, it's directed by Medica Ferreira. It's really good. And he mentions it like he's good, but he's always being held back by something. Whether it's the birds or love and something. He tries to do the political thing and stuff like that. And Suarez is trying to be a little bit more ruthless about it. Like he's going to unleash starfish on the whole world. He wants to attack the U.S. with it and just take over. And Luna's trying to.
I think Luna was going to do that anyway.
He's gonna use it as a threat. Not necessarily send it on the world, but he's going to make a threat so people would respect the country. Suarez is just ready to just throw it out there. So it's at least trying to get it to Suarez a little more ruthless about it and everything like that.
Plus, so I think with Harley, whether this is good or bad, they kind of always have to deal with her relationship with men because her Joker relationship is such a big part of her character in the comics and in her stories. Even in the DCU, kind of in the first Suicide Squad. So, because if you think about what she did, she kind of fell in love with him. He was a nice guy, treated her well. But then it was kind of her character development. If you consider Suicide Squad to Birds of Prey to this kind of continuation of her character, she realized what he was capable of, what he wanted to do, and she had to take him out to prevent him from kind of doing that. I think with Harley, you always kind of have to, whether it's good or bad, entertain those parts of it.
The red flags, it shows that she's learned because. Suicide Squad, she was still all over Joker. Birds of Prey, she's trying to get over it. She's working on that. But I mean, there's still
she blew up Ace Chemicals. Like, I don't think you can get over a guy more than that.
But how many people saw that movie?
I did.
But at least in this part, she's showing, okay, when I see she's grown enough to know, okay, if I see something wrong, I'm just going to kill this guy. So don't date Harley and have any red flags. You're just gone.
Apparently.
Don't date Harley. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Or you could date Harley, just don't be an ass, and then she won't kill you.
Yeah.
Risk and reward. Let's see, man.
Let's see here. Says JC, who's in love with Alexa Bliss, who's like
happy birthday, Alexa, by the way. Appreciate it.
Always possessed nowadays. Happy birthday. I don't know if you saw my comment on Twitter.
I saw it. I'm ignoring you, douche.
Okay.
It's a busy day.
There you go. What was I going to say? Okay, so look, not a total deal breaker for me, right? I'm just thinking like it kind of takes me out of the energy that we were already, the momentum. It takes me out of the momentum we already had at the beginning of the movie, and it felt out of place. It was like a jolt. I don't know why it affected me so much. But after I thought about it, I'm like, you don't need this president guy. You don't need Luna. If you want to make Suarez look like a badass, you totally can do it. But even so, I don't feel like he's ever the enemy of this movie. It's almost like we don't have an enemy. Like we have a big bad.
How about Amanda Waller?
There you go. Amanda Waller.
I think she's the overall villain of this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but even that guy, that general, remember he burnt all those birds alive. Yeah. Remember he poured the gasoline.
I mean, he's a bad guy, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
what's
don't
worse?
Think he's the villain.
What's worse is Suarez burning all those birds, or Luna when he took over, killed that entire ruling family, including the kids, and they showed images of those kids hanging there. I mean, that was
so. It is, and if you have Suarez do that, which coups have happened with military generals before, then I think you accomplish the same thing at least. And again, not a deal breaker. It's one of the things where I'm like, I didn't need it. I didn't need Harley to still be hung up on men. I thought we got over that in Birds of Prey. So let's move on.
And, I think it's time to start talking about the real star of this movie, Peacemaker.
Damn right.
Peacemaker, go for it.
Damn right.
I actually thought the star of the movie was Anagwe, King Shark. He was funny.
Yeah, there was a lot of good characters, but
and
the sequence that's coming up with what's left of the squad going to find because they rescue her first. No, they find the freedom fighters first, right?
They rescue Flag because they get a lock on his position. They think, okay, when Waller tells them, kill his captors with extreme.
Right, but that happens first before they rescue Harley. Yeah, so
that
whole scene of
that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. I'm just wow.
of taking out Flag's captors, which turns out to probably not be all that necessary. But
No.
just the sequence of events of like one after the other, the competition between Bloodsport and Peacemaker that gets going, and of course he drops the line. What if we shot bullets at each other? He's like, I'd shoot a smaller bullet that would go through you, which was a funny line, and of course, comes back a little bit later.
Mhm.
But even Bloodsport at one part, after he says something, he was like, "Dang it, you're right. I don't want to admit you're right, but you're right."
No, it was what did he say? Oh, when Peacemaker shoots a guy, Bloodsport says you didn't kill him. It wasn't
Oh
fatal.
yeah,
And then Peacemaker's like,
Exploding
explosive
bullets.
rounds,
exploding bullet,
whatever.
basically. Yeah.
Dude blows up, and then Bloodsport's just like that was excessive, and it's
But it was
unnecessary.
cool as fuck.
He goes, it's still cool if it's. Now I
It's
forgot
okay.
it. But yeah, it's
So
cool as fuck.
it's okay to point out if it's dope as
not if
Yeah.
it's dope as fuck.
Sorry, I'm
Something
a
like
teacher,
that.
Mo. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
I'm
then,
not a teacher, I'll say
Bloodsport
it.
goes,
Yeah, I know
damn
you
it,
are.
you're right.
Yeah, I just love that.
Uh-huh.
My
And then they
favorite,
find
my
Flag.
favorite. Oh, go for it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say my favorite kill out of all those was actually Peacemaker. There's a dude like taking a nap, and he just has this little hand axe, and he's just chopping up as he's walking past this guy. It was just so damn funny. Oh man, John Cena is so hysterical. He's hysterical. I love it.
It's between that one and when they're like just trying to see who can get the coolest kill, and he shoots the table with the fan, and the guy is taking a bath, and he just puts him in the tub. Like, it's like, oh my god,
that was almost like what Hot Shots Part 2,
yeah,
or whatever, when they're making fun of like most kills in movie history.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what that started feeling like for a moment.
Joe, what's your favorite kill out of all those, man?
Oh man, I gotta say the one that I enjoyed is I just like King Shark just ripping that guy in half, dude. And then they have the lightning right behind him. The bolt hits, and he's just like, "Rah!" He just got that dude. I thought he was gonna eat him, but no, he just ripped him in half, dude.
What about that scene where they attack the freedom fighters though? What's your favorite in that sequence?
I actually
King
did.
Shark kind of kicks it off when he starts eating everybody.
I missed that part. I actually missed that part because my daughter was telling me, "Dad, I need help with something," and I was like, "Oh God!" So I get up. She needed her medication, right? So I go over there and help her, and then I come back and I'm like, "What did I miss?" And everybody's laughing. I'm like,
"Oh no, you gotta go back and watch it when you get a chance."
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch
I just like
it.
they show up to having tea. Flag's like, "What you guys do here? How come my men didn't alert me of your presence?" We didn't see anybody. We didn't see nobody. We didn't see. I love that Bloodsport's the first guy's like, "Yeah, we didn't see anybody." Peacemaker's like, "Nope, nothing."
We need to talk about that guy that was on the
man gives it away, and he says, "I turned them all into my mother, and I killed them."
Oh man, the polka dot
Ted,
man's
you talk
got
about
issues.
things that have taken you out of the movie. I was sitting there going, why would she agree to help him after they took out like her entire force around her? That's what I was a little bit like. Okay, I mean, I know it's for the story, but I was like, man, they just they didn't just kill, they like slaughtered, and like you're not going to be having funerals for these people. Like, I hate to say it, but like,
and they're standing around looking at all their bodies like laying everywhere. Like this one's burned to death.
Please put something like this in the Suicide Squad game, like all Metal Gear Solid style stealth. I want to see if I can relive this. That's so great,
Oh my God.
We also need to talk about that other character in the movie that he was kind of going along with the ride. The guy that was driving the bus. What was his name? Milton, dude.
Poor Milton.
That guy.
Which, we'll get to that. But everyone's saying as a reference to the guy from Office Space.
Yeah, poor Milton, dude.
Do you have my stapler?
He always was walking around with a bag of food. He had that little brown bag, empanadas and food for him. And poor Milton.
That's what I'm cosplaying as this Halloween. Finally something I can be.
There you go. And I think you and I talked about this before, JC, right? Milton's actually the actor himself. He's actually from Laredo, is that right? We talked about this a long time ago.
Maybe we had. Let me find out.
They said what did I watch a video? He's from something else. Like what he's been. I have to look it up.
Julio Ruiz is his name. I need to look it up.
I'm pretty sure he's from Laredo or the Valley, somewhere in the Valley. And I was just like, hey, awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Let me find out.
Small world. Let's see here. Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just going to say, as we're moving forward a little bit, as y'all looking that up. So they find out the place they have to get into. I guess they got to go rescue Harley too. But when they get to the science place, Jotunheim, I just thought it was kind of interesting that I don't know if it's like a real facility somewhere, but named after the Nordic world or whatever. That's obviously pretty prevalent, like in Thor and Nordic mythology.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know if there was any reason he chose that, but I just found that pretty interesting.
I wondered about that too. I didn't follow up on it. And before they even do that, you said they had to rescue Harley.
Yeah,
We need to
right.
talk about the Harley action sequence because that was actually my favorite part of this movie.
That was
She
pretty cool.
is able to break out of her chains using her feet, which James Gunn said 100 times that Margot Robbie did all of that herself. Like it wasn't a stunt person, no
Nice.
camera tricks or anything like that.
Mhm.
She literally threw her feet up there, turned the key, got herself out, no problem.
She's very bendy.
And then from there it goes on a complete berserker rampage through this palace, taking out every single guard, using every single weapon at her disposal. I love every single bit of this. It's fun, it's funny, it's well choreographed, it looks fantastic, and then especially when she gets the javelin and starts using that, it sort of turns into I'm trying to remember. It's almost like either Kill Bill or like Scott Pilgrim, where all of the violence turns into animation or turns into flowers. It's no longer
Yeah.
blood splatter; it's now flower splatter.
Mhm.
And so to her, it's just the world that Harley lives in. It's all playfulness and it's all birds
that-
and rabbits and roses and dancing and singing and all that stuff. I just absolutely loved it.
That's very Scott Pilgrim because that's basically what
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim is. It's how Scott Pilgrim sees the world. It's all like one big comic book, one big video game. So that, and then, yeah, the whole flower thing is definitely hers. And the more she kills, the more flowers she gets, the more the birds come out and everything. And then she's at peace, So
If that's a video game, she's on special, man. Go use it real quick.
damn
man.
right, dude. When you got full rage, man, just take advantage. So
She got the star. She got the star from
Do,
Mario
do, do,
Kart.
do, 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 do.
Crazy. Brett, he's in the chat, says, love the quote from Bloodsport when they were talking about going after Harley. This coming from the guy that wants a toilet seat on his head. It's
Toilet seat.
what did he call it?
A beacon of freedom or something, or
beacon of freedom. Yeah.
yeah.
speaking of freedom,
John Cena is so good, man.
Julio Cesar Ruiz, who played Milton, is from Laredo, Texas.
There you go.
What other
yeah.
movies has he been? Does he have other stuff? Do you have his IMDb?
I'm trying to pull it up
I
right
feel like
now.
there was something that was mentioned. I heard in a video.
Lodge 49, SWAT on CBS.
Mm,
He was Rudy in Vice Principals, which I guess was an HBO movie or something like that.
it was a show. I remember that.
He was in Preacher, which TV series. Nothing like big. This was kind of like his.
Okay.
I would say this is
I
his
don't
biggest.
remember him in Preacher.
Okay. Thought I heard something else.
Preacher says he was credited as Big Wasted Dude. That's what it says.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
There is
Yeah.
about 1,000 of those in Preacher, by the way.
So,
I mean, it's
yeah.
better than background guy number 2.
Yeah.
So.
Lodge 49, he was Mariachi number 1.
Hey.
What are they? Yeah. So in SWAT, his name was Flaco. Big guy named Flaco. There's
course
irony
it
in
was.
that. So this has kind of been like his first, probably the biggest role he's had to date.
Okay.
Yeah. So more to
He was
come.
fun.
He's only had like a few credits here and there, but yeah. So pretty cool.
There you go. Harley breaks out, and then she catches up with the team, who then have to go to the Gentleman's Club and find the Thinker. This is our first sort of Marvel Easter egg, if you will. Mantis, or the actress who plays Mantis, is actually in the red sort of lingerie outfit on stage dancing. So if she
Okay.
looked familiar to anybody, that's actually Mantis from
I
Guardians
didn't
of the Galaxy.
realize it while watching it, but they lingered on her, and I was like, is she supposed to be? I thought maybe she was going to do something later in like the little scene.
I just
or,
saw
like,
the
be involved
lingerie.
somehow.
I just saw the lingerie. I'm just gonna admit, I'm sorry.
That's all he focused on.
And
It's all
she's
Yeah.
good.
part Asian, so you know.
She looked good. So
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I missed one. Actually, at the beginning of the movie, the doctor who implants the bomb into the neck of Savant is John Ostrander, who is the creator of the Suicide Squad.
Right.
So
Wow.
a little bit of an Easter egg for you guys. I figured that's why they threw that in there. We also saw James Gunn's brother play Calendar Man. The
Sean
guy
Gunn,
behind him, exactly Sean Gunn, who also plays Weasel. The guy
Yeah.
behind him in that line played Double Down, who's another DC Comics C character. And then in the prison, as they were going to pick up Ratcatcher 2, we saw a girl with like sort of paint all over her face and like diamond shapes. That's actually
Yeah,
Kaleidoscope. Shout out to
Kaleidoscope.
Jericho.
You go Kaleidoscope, yeah.
Shout out to Jericho who figured that one out because I didn't know who that was.
you
Alright,
you
yeah.
mentioned Palm Clementieff, who played Mantis.
Yeah,
I was looking her up. She's actually gonna be in the next Mission Impossible movie.
yeah.
Very cool.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Mhm.
There you go. Joe, your thoughts about the Gentleman's Club, sir?
Oh, I thought it was fun. You know, you get to see them come in there, and they're
Like I
all.
was there last night, but
No, I was
Which
not.
one? Oh, the movie.
No, but it was fun to see them come in and just like have some fun. You know, they're kind of apprehensive about taking shots, and they're just like, "Hey, we might not be alive tomorrow, so we might as well have some fun." And then they're like, "All right, I'll have one," and then that leads to them, you know, actually enjoying themselves and having fun and talking. But you get to learn a little bit more about their characters and you know what they're doing, what they're all about. Which to me, it was kind of fun to see them come together. I think as a group. They're starting to become friends. You know, they're starting to actually have fun and like each other. You know, so to
yeah,
me it was a good scene. You know, and then of course, I mean, look at where they're at. You know, they're over here just checking out everything, having fun, and I liked it. You know, to me it was a really pivotal scene as far as the characters' growth, as far as them, as far as you as you know an audience member watching the film, you kind of start to care about them a little bit and like, oh man, I don't want nobody to die. You know, you start
Mhm.
thinking that. And then the one thing that I like too is that they show Anawe, King Shark, and my daughter pointed out, she's like, I feel sorry for him. They left him by himself on the bus.
Yeah, poor guy.
yeah. But also, I love when they're incognito. Sorry, real quick.
Go for it.
John Cena just dressed like the most generic preppy dad, like, and it just fit him perfectly with his character. Just like his shorts and his collared shirt and his white socks.
The
The
tidy
shirt was too
whities.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The tidy whities. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, we totally
Oh,
missed that, but that
God.
was when they were still on the island part. Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Why are you in your tidy?
Yeah, exactly.
that is racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That
never
was
gave us an
funny.
answer either. He
No.
just
No,
No,
he doesn't need to.
out
He's
in the
Peacemaker.
jungle. There you
Yeah.
go. Absolutely. Oh
kill
man.
anybody for peace.
Polka Dot Man, multiple occasions, not only in this scene but also previously when he's first talking about his mother, and they, I think it was Ratcatcher 2 who asks him, "Where is she now?" And he says everywhere as he's looking to the group, and all of them have the face of his mother, including King Shark, who's like
Yeah.
messing with the butterfly. Well, they're at this gentleman's club now, and Polka Dot Man's in the middle of the dance floor having a great old time, and
His
got
mom.
his mom all around him. Even like on the left, there's a dude with like a blue beard. It's still his mom, but it's got a beard.
Yeah.
It's so good. This is this running gag throughout the film. It's just so hilarious, man. I loved it. Yeah,
His dance moves were
I
reminiscent of what's his name, the guy from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. What's his name?
Baron
Zemo.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they should have
Uh,
a dance off.
You know, one little thing with Polka Dot Man, early on they kind of play that thing where he gets like
The
the
rash.
polka dot like rash, and he has to like throw it up.
Mhm.
yeah.
That doesn't really play too much later in the like you see it twice where he's kind of get the big pulsating
He
polka
has to like
dots,
expel it
and
or
then
you
he
get the
throws them
rash. Yeah.
out. But
Mhm.
then it never really affects him in any way, or they don't show it affecting him much in the second half of the film, which I just thought was kind
Right?
of odd. I felt like it
He
was
was
going
going
to
to lead
pay
to
off to
something.
something, and it didn't really. So I don't know if it got edited out, that maybe it was, and they cut it or something. But I just thought that was a little bit weird. Again, nothing huge, but just
Yeah.
I thought about that. I was like, oh, that didn't
He
really
said he had to
pay off.
expel them twice a day. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought that would come up again sometime in the finale, the third act, but it didn't really. But
Yeah. What? Yeah. I see what you're saying. Why even put that in there
yeah,
if it doesn't lead to anything else further down the road? All it really does is have the group wonder, like, what is it? What does it do to
yeah,
you? Why do you have to get rid of it? And where the hell's your mom now?
and you feel sorry for him because of his story of, why he got that way. So
Mhm.
Absolutely. Brett's in the chat. Did y'all catch Blackguard's real name at the beginning? Lowbrow humor, but it had me laughing my butt off. I totally missed it,
I didn't. What
and
was it?
he actually wrote in here his real name in the movie was Dick Hertz.
I'm just seeing
So
it
yeah,
now. Richard Dick
Oh,
Hurts.
Richard Hertz. Okay, there you go.
okay, I feel
Dick
like
Hurts.
that's a
Yeah.
real.
That is a real character name, by the way.
No, but like a real person from something. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Okay.
Go for it.
What is?
Polka Dot Man, interdimensional virus, which he has to expel twice a
Twice a
day.
day.
His
Mhm.
his mother worked at Star Labs, which is a great callback, right? To the Flash comics as well as a TV show. Makes you wonder. I don't know if we're going to see anything else related to that ever again, but cool little nod, little Easter egg thrown out the Star Labs name and interdimensional multiverse. I don't know. It makes you wonder what that's
Yeah.
all about there.
Maybe it's about the multiverse. Well, she said that the mom was experimenting on all his brothers and sisters.
Right.
And not
Ooh,
all of them
dark.
survived.
Mhm.
So that was kind of harsh. I think that was
Really
another
dark.
big moment too when he was explaining his upbringing. You know how he got these,
Yeah.
polka
Yeah.
dots or these powers, and the other characters were just like, "Geez," like, "Wow, dude." They thought they had it rough. His whole family was experimented on by the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Another thing that we
absolutely.
missed too is Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher too is always sleeping everywhere. Like wherever she can sleep,
Yeah.
she falls asleep. And one of the things that fans were saying, and it really made me think, is in the film you see Taika Waititi, as a he's given a part by James Gunn, and it's Ratcatcher, and it's showing kind of what he's doing on the streets, raising his daughter when she's kind of telling him all about how she grew up, and him being a you know I guess a heroin addict, maybe she was always sleeping because she would sleep when he would sleep, so she didn't have to deal with the trauma of growing up with a
Wow.
parent who's an addict. So that still carries on today, and that's probably why in the film, wherever she found a little comfy spot, she was down for the count, because I think that's based on her upbringing with a parent who's an addict. Wherever you can
Yeah.
fall asleep, you're gonna fall asleep. So I
Hmm.
kind of was. They deal with their own trauma in different ways.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
James Gunn slowly merging Marvel, the MCU with DC movies, bringing over Michael Rooker and Mantis and Idris Elba and Taika Waititi. I mean, there's so many Marvel
It's
characters in
it's
this
the
movie. It's
Gunverse is what it
crazy.
is.
It's
Mhm.
the Gunverse. There you go. That's what it is.
Uh,
Absolutely.
but also, I can't see Taika play a part anymore without hearing Korg. Like
Oh
even when
man,
he was Ratcatcher 1, I just hear Korg, and that's all I could hear now.
Korg's voice.
So it's
Yeah.
back.
He's back, new
Absolutely.
master.
So it's him. He's on again, making fun of me.
No, my favorite line from Korg was, "Why are you in here?" "Well, I may have started a little revolution." I was the only one that showed up.
but didn't print enough pamphlets. My mom and the boyfriend showed up, and I don't like him.
Yeah,
Oh, I love. He's my favorite character. Like seriously.
Korg is my
He's the
hero.
best. We need more of Korg. We need just a series of Korg. That's all we need, please.
Dude, if
Yeah.
they did like a
Uh,
spin-off of Korg, that would be fire, man. I would watch
Disney
that.
Plus, that would be
Yeah.
I would love it. Absolutely love it. Do animated. I don't even care. Just do it.
great.
Only with
Uh,
Deadpool.
Jotunheim. So the final act of the movie, the group gets to Jotunheim. I love the visuals of it raining and the sun is out, so you can't really see the team as they're walking through this heavy rain because it's just so bright outside. And again, none of these action sequences fall flat for me. All of these things work wonderfully, in my opinion. Especially Bloodsport, who he has all these gadgets, and it makes you want to figure out how they work because they're all these little pieces of tech that just expand into these
Some
large.
some nanomite
Yeah,
technology
nano.
going on
Nanotech,
there.
Yeah, it is
yeah.
nanotech.
What it seems like.
It looks like it. It
Yeah.
does. And did you guys ever notice that whenever he's like doing the slingshot or spring action
It's like
on
an
his
arrow, kind of
forearm?
crossbow kind of thing. Yeah.
No, they're pencils.
Oh.
I could have sworn once or twice I like paused it real quick. They're like number 2 pencils
I
that
believe
he's
it.
just shooting
Well, they
out.
better
And
be Ticonderoga. Those suckers will last for a
Yeah,
while.
those.
So, you know,
definitely,
Yeah,
and
one here.
it goes back to kind of how Waller was talking about Peacemaker saying anything in his hand is a weapon.
Mhm.
Same thing with Bloodsport. Anything in his hand is a weapon, and he has all these crazy cool gadgets. Anywho, so the team splits up. Half of them go put bombs. The other half go down. Not the other half, but Flag and Ratcatcher 2 go down to the basement where it says "dirty little secrets" on the elevator, and we're gonna find out exactly how dirty, right? Because the plot twist comes in. Project Starfish, which has been a 30-year program
Was
led
not about
by
buttholes, by the way.
No. Good question by
not at
Peacemaker,
all,
by the way.
Yes, great question.
Yes, yeah.
not at all
Any
about
correlation?
butthole.
No.
No. Anyways, yeah. So the Thinker, he's been working on this project for 30 years, and it turns out this has been a U.S. government-led project since then, which insane, but not completely, right? Because U.S. government has been known to sort of work on either secret projects or work on weapons off
What are you
of
talking about,
U.S.
Ted? I love the government.
grounds,
They've never done anything wrong.
right? It's been known to work on secret weapon projects outside of the U.S. That way, if anything goes wrong, it doesn't affect the populace here within the states. So crazy plot twist, and also that Peacemaker is sort of there with a secondary um, objective of making sure none of this information gets out, which was kind of the objective from the get go. At least that's what they told Bloodsport. They never really show us them telling that to Rick Flag, but they tell Bloodsport the objective is delete all traces of Project Starfish. That's all they
Right.
said to Bloodsport. We
That was
don't
the
know what they
mission.
told Flag. They could have just told Flag something completely different. And what we're
You assume
kind
they
of
told him the
fan
mission.
theorizing,
Yeah.
is that she was going to kill Flag anyways because he wasn't going to go along with the plan.
I mean, I assume they told them all with the same mission, but knowing she knew who Peacemaker was, Peaker's like ensure that there's no evidence of anything. That's really what it was, you know. I don't know if she gave Peacemaker any sort of intel on what exactly Project Starfish was, you know.
Well, obviously not, because he has questions.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
had different objectives. His objective was, leave no evidence behind, and
Because he's thorough.
yeah,
Because he's
destroy it
thorough.
at any cost is what she told him. So he was meeting his objective.
Yeah.
But like you said, someone mentioned it earlier. I think she understood Rick Flag's morality. So when you tell someone, erase all traces of this project, they're probably thinking it's about weapons. It's something they've created,
Yeah.
But she knows when he gets there and he realizes that they were experimenting on people and bringing in all these just random people to do these things,
Women.
that it was going
Children.
to, women, children, everything. it was going to affect him. So, like JC said, Peacemaker, he'll do anything because he reiterated back at the beginning on the beach. If there's male genitalia all over this beach, you need all of them for peace. Whatever he needed to do for peace, and it's a joke, but also at the end, it's really serious for him.
Why would you eat penis? Why would there be penises on the beach? Yeah, that's right.
I don't know
Catcher
why,
two asked.
why
You never know what.
You
Yeah,
never know.
I don't know why madmen do the things they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brett says here that the woman that played Polka Dot Man's mother was also in Doom Patrol. Not sure if the two characters are related.
No way.
That would be dope. That would be dope if
like she played another character in Doom Patrol, or like I was assuming she wouldn't be called
I think
Polka Dot's
JC's
mom.
caught up. JC might be caught up with season 2. I'm not yet.
I'm fully caught up. I'm waiting for season 3. Like season 2 is so
Okay.
good. I need to look up who she is though. So
I'm gonna binge watch the hell out of it this week because I know season 3 is around the corner.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to catch up on that.
So
too.
that's awesome, Brett, and that would be really cool if they were attached. If there was, if it was
connection.
the same character, a connection between the two. Especially if we found out that one of Polka Dot's siblings was like mentioned on the show. I'm not gonna go that far.
What is this
I don't
now?
know
The
if DC
MCU
thinks
connecting
about-
to the Disney Plus shows?
I was just about to say I don't know if
Does
DC
DCU think
decides
they
to
are?
connect their the projects that well, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Jotunheim. Yeah. So the fight between Flag and Peacemaker ensues, right? Because Flag's not going to go without blowing the lid on this whole project, and Peacemaker's not going to allow that. I love the fight between the two of them, especially when you see the reflection off of Peacemaker's helmet. This is all
Yeah.
great stuff, man.
Great
And
cinematography there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Great choreography, great fight between the two of them. Flag looks like he has the upper hand, and then with a broken piece of either
tile.
or
It was
porcelain,
tile, yeah.
Peacemaker stabs him right in the heart. And they give us that little Mortal Kombat shot where like they go into his cavity and show him piercing the heart. Didn't have to do that, but man, it really, really pulls on the emotional heartstrings. Flag was a good guy. The good guy did not win. And that was a very surprising death, especially because I did see a spoiler of it beforehand, but I didn't really think before I saw the spoiler that Flag was going to be one of the ones that kind of bite the bullet. So yeah, really surprising to me. Any of you guys kind of expect to see him make it to the end?
I did
I
not.
think I assumed that was the death that shocked me the most was to see
Yeah.
Flag die. I thought that was like, wow, I didn't expect that.
I didn't
Um,
expect him to make it, though. I'll be honest with you guys. JC, I didn't expect him to make it to the end. Something just told me he wasn't going to make it because they got rid of characters that they had in the original Suicide Squad film that were kind of getting killed off here. Of course, they're not going to kill off Harley because she makes the studio too much money, but everybody else, I thought they were going to
she's
just,
too popular.
I thought they were going to do like a clean slate and get rid of those guys,
No, I was surprised too. Though I was a little bit because I thought you're right. Like they killed Boomerang off, but I thought Harley and him were going to be kind of like the tent poles or the two that kind of carry it through, and then you'll kind of have these other members coming in. But you're saying when they showed that Mortal Kombat, like that was like, nope, look, went through the heart. This guy is dead. Like just so you
Just
don't
so we
think
can
he's gonna
reiterate,
pop
he's
up
not
later.
coming back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Through the heart.
Oh man! And
Hey.
then after that, Ratcatcher grabs the storage device and decides to run off with it. Before that all happens, Thinker gets yanked away by Starro. We forgot this whole like reveal here. Starro is revealed at this point. We see Starro on the trailers though, and some odd things, right? Because you have all of these people that have been experimented on. They all have been taken over
Political
by
enemies. Yeah,
Starro's little, I don't know what you want to call them, babies, whatever.
It's like
many
they're like
Starros,
extensions of his consciousness, is the way they describe it. It's
which
kind of
is which is really odd when Starro's actually not she trying to level with the team, saying, Thinkers had me here as a prisoner for 30 years, been experimenting on me, been torturing me, been having his way with me, and I'm like, oh God, Thinker, what? You
I
dog.
mean,
I mean,
break
this
this
thinker.
gentleman's
We're not even
gloves.
going to mention how he just has random like tubes in his head that I mean, I know in the comic book that's a thing, but like never really explain what that does, how it affects him, helps him. He's just got like things sticking out of his head. So yeah,
Absolutely.
hmm
And he gets a nice little not Resident Evil. What's that other video game? I don't know. He gets ripped in half by Starro, and then like the solid half splatters him against the wall, and it was just beautifully shot and everything. But yeah, R.A.P. Thinker didn't make it out.
hmm
Man, a lot of death in this movie. It's
hmm
crazy. Let's
And
see.
now he had personalized license plates, so he dies. Yeah,
Absolutely, and
Harley.
he has
Yeah.
to. Absolutely.
hmm
We have to get to the other team, right? Because James Gunn is doing this really cool, really interesting sort of time jumps between different groups. And it doesn't look like it's going to be a thing the first couple of times he does it, but he even does it later on in this film. Kind of confusing the first time around, but you kind of catch on really quickly. And he has these nice transitions and stuff. He's pulling out all the stops. I love it. I love the style of the movie completely because of the way he does it. But we go to the other team. They're actually attacked by a couple of forces, and Milton Milton takes a couple of bullets, and Polka Dot Man is just besides himself that Milton got hit, and Bloodshot's like, Milton's still with us?
I know. And then Harley's like,
Who's
"Wait,
Who's
who's
Milton?
Milton?
Milton?" Like
Who's
she doesn't even know who he
Milton?
is.
The funny thing is,
This is
like,
all
I
funny stuff.
I watched it in the theater, and I didn't realize Milton was still running with them up until that scene when he dies. So when I watched it again with Tina when we got home, watched it the next day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there is Milton." He kind of
Yeah,
does kind
no,
of
yeah, I
sneak in,
noticed
yeah.
it.
I
Yeah,
didn't realize it at first. I thought
Yeah,
that
and
was funny.
he's always
Yeah,
running around with that bag of food, the brown
yeah.
bag.
yeah. I mean, he drops it,
Carrying
or no, he
explosives and everything.
no, he
Yeah,
Yeah,
drops some
yeah.
explosive. That's what happens because
yeah.
that plays in a little bit later in the
Oh,
scene. Yeah,
speaking of that, man, that was funny. That King Shark moment where he made Peacemaker
as from the bomb stuff, the putty.
the C4. He goes, "Look, Peacemaker." He says, "Look."
He was like, pretty good. Pretty good, yeah. I love Harley's reaction to Milton after she finally like takes a look at the body. Goes, Milton, oh,
Ah,
Milton, that's so
yeah.
Oh,
good.
Milton. Oh, yeah.
Harley is way better in this one. I think. I
hmm
think just James Gunn got exactly what he wanted to out of this character, and it's just I don't think you get any better as a Harley Quinn character other than what we got in this one. So yeah, absolutely loved it. I love this action sequence, right? Because Polka Dot Man accidentally ignites a few of the, the bombs, and the building is cut in half, and the three of them have to run out of one side. King Shark, who's invincible, basically,
Tough
bullets don't
skinned.
hurt him. It's
I
it's more
mean,
than that.
But you're missing
He's
the
smooth
best part,
and
though. Of the one of the best parts of the movie was before
oh
the
god,
building collapsed. He went into that one
Oh,
room, and he saw those
Mhm.
little aquatic creatures.
like
They
jellyfish hybrid
Yeah, they look
thing.
yeah.
almost
Yeah.
look like Pokemon. And he's over there and he's jumping and they kind of like come together and they kind of mimic his form and he's all excited. Oh, look,
friends.
friends. And he's like jumping around, running around, and that whole sequence just shows you kind of like his childlike mentality. Like he just wants to have fun and play around, and
Yeah.
he's enjoying this moment, and then boom, the building gets cut in half. So that was before you were gonna say he came out of the building.
And when the water filled up that area and all of those things
Oh
kind of
yeah.
pop up, turns out the bottom of them is just nothing but teeth, and they all start grabbing onto him. So
Yeah.
poor
He's
King Shark,
screaming,
man,
he's
he had
screaming,
a break.
friends, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's really durable, his body, so that goes to show you that whatever these little creatures were, which they were made just for the movie, whatever their names were, they could harm him, dude. So if they could get to him, I mean they got quite a bite.
It's funny because I need to watch it right now to be sure. I could have sworn I heard something, and then I checked the captions to be sure it was. He actually calls these little things when they're in the aquarium. He goes, New dumb friends.
Oh my God, new dumb friends.
I didn't hear. I thought I
I don't
heard it in the
remember that
movie. Like,
either,
no,
but
he didn't
Yeah.
say
I remember
that.
him calling them friends. I didn't realize it was new dumb friends.
New dumb friends. Sylvester Stallone was not asked to do a lot, but man, it totally worked. It totally worked with his voice and the tone of it throughout, and just
I
who
mean,
knew Sylvester had it in him to kind
it's
of.
like Vin Diesel with Guardians. Like, it, you don't know it's like he just says I am Groot all the time. That could be anybody.
You know what?
Like, but it's like they're like it's Vin Diesel, and he's like paid all this money to just say I am Groot over and
He
over.
Yeah.
said it a million times, yeah.
Yeah.
Something
You
like
know what? King Shark to me was for the Suicide Squad. He was the Suicide to the Suicide Squad. What Drax was to the Guardians of the Galaxy. You
Yeah, he
know,
was
just kind
definitely
of
the
that
humor.
comedic relief. You know,
Yeah.
and then with the way
that.
he answers
Absolutely.
certain questions, like they ask him, "You wouldn't eat friends?" No. He's like, he's lying.
There you go. We'll kind of sprint through the end of this because I know this is we're spending a lot of time on it, but the
Jokes on me.
building goes up.
I misspelled subscribe.
Joe, I'm
I
just kidding.
forgot
It's
an
all good.
S.
What's it
Subscribe,
called?
guys. Subscribe.
Yep.
Building goes up. Starro gets free, busts out, and I love the title that they put. The text in the clouds. The Suicide
Suicide
Squad versus Starro, and it's just
the
awesome.
Conqueror.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very Scott Pilgrimish, right? These are all
Mhm.
like elements that's kind of taking
Oh,
me back
Starro the
to all
Conqueror.
that.
Yeah.
Starro the Conqueror versus the Suicide Squad. Absolutely loved it. And this is again, Viola Davis is a gem. She's fantastic in this role as Amanda Waller. The group decides to listen to her at first and say, "All right, we're gonna leave. This kaiju's off, going on his own." Oh, Bloodsport actually shoots Peacemaker right before that, saves Ratcatcher 2. Awesome moment. Uh, good stuff.
With
Good
the
stuff.
little bullet through the bigger bullet, the
Mhm.
opposite of what Peacemaker said.
Yep.
It was
Absolutely.
Bloodsport's little bullet.
Absolutely. So the group is going to take off, but they decide instead they're going to go take this thing out and disobey Amanda Waller's orders. And she's got her finger on the trigger. She's
Just
going to
trying to
blow
kill all of them.
every
Yeah.
single one of these guys. And for a second, I'm just like, I don't know how they get out of this. And
Yeah.
then luckily, the team around her who've been questioning her actions, her motives, her decisions throughout the movie, knock her out and I guess tie her up or something like that.
Yeah, they knock
But
her
the
out with the
woman
golf
who
club.
does it,
Yeah.
the woman who does it, one of the funniest lines in this movie is I guess this guy Dale like sitting next to her, just like, "Get on the goddamn satellite, Dale."
Just
So
takes over
funny, man.
there. Yeah.
I
This
do want to say one thing though,
go
because
for
you
it.
said earlier that Amanda Waller in this movie was more evil in the first one. Well, for what it's worth, in the first one, she took out her underlings who were doing their job.
Absolutely.
These guys hit her with a golf club, and as of right now, are still alive. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they
Well,
may have evil things planned for them coming up, but she in Suicide Squad, she just shoots them as she's leaving because leaving no possible
No evidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sure. They were also in the middle of a war zone. They might not have made it out to begin with.
yeah.
Not to say that I'm defending her by any means, but
Yeah, but we're
they
gonna
might have
see
been
their
casualties of
punishment
war.
come to light here pretty soon because I don't
And
want to.
Peacemaker, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. They go after the kaiju. They go after Starro, right?
Yeah.
And none of Bloodsport's weapons are working. King Shark does what he can, tries to nibble on Starro a little bit.
Num num.
Nanawe, that's num num.
Yeah.
Num num? Which is a great sort of like Hulk smash
Smash.
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
from Avengers. So
Yeah.
it totally works. Absolutely love it. That doesn't really work because he throws him into a building right away, right? And
Mhm.
then who's sort of the hero of the hour? Someone who we probably least expected to be Ratcatcher 2 uses her device to call probably like a million mice or rats
Yeah,
around the
Before you
area.
get into that, how about Polka Dot Man's death there?
Yeah,
Oh
Just,
God!
that's your mom.
That's your
And just
mom, yes.
That's your
giant mom there, and then
Sorrow mom.
yeah,
beating
when
on
her
the
leg,
building.
her
Yeah,
legs
took out a
getting
leg. Yeah.
her legs getting out, and then everybody that's being mind controlled is like picking their leg up and everything like that. That was a hilarious sequence. He's like, I'm a superhero.
Oh, the minute you say that, nope.
He says it twice, right? The first time he says, "I'm a superhero." The second time he says, "I'm a mother effing superhero."
Yeah.
And then splash.
Yeah.
Sorry to see him go, but yeah, no, epic moment.
But he did go out like a
Glorious,
hero.
glorious purpose.
So. Right.
Awesomeness. But yeah, sorry to see him go. R.I.P. Polka Dot Man. But it was an epic moment, and yeah, totally awesome. Ratcatcher 2 calls about million rats, mice around the area, and they just start climbing Starro and chomping at the bits and everything. Meanwhile, that javelin was meant for something after all. Harley dives off of what's left over of a building and goes straight through the eyeball. I thought maybe she would throw it at him and it would just pierce his eye.
Yeah.
No, she goes and takes a dive. I'm like, this is kind of gross, but
I was
watching.
like, was anyone else unnerved that she's just swimming in eyeball juice? Like,
that's kind of what would happen if you get poked in your eye. It's just a thin
fluid.
thing.
You're right, but
fluid, and
I didn't need to see it.
Yeah.
Did you know
But
one of the things in that whole sequence there that I think we kind of overlook with Harley is the javelin gave her the upper hand in a lot of these sequences. When she was escaping, she was very proficient with that javelin because she was using it as it was, as you're supposed to use a javelin. It's a weapon to go ahead and throw and poke. But one of the things that they didn't really show her use with the javelin is to use the javelin to jump until that scene when she jumped and used the javelin to push herself into Starro with the point facing forward, and that's when she dove into the starfish's eye or Starro's eye. But I'm just saying it made her a totally different like character as far as her fighting style. Like it was really cool to see her doing these other things with the javelin. I was like, damn, that's badass.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Crazy moment. It's just one of those things where you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
You don't think it's possible. You don't see it coming, and yeah, totally. Starro's eye is just there for the taking. She takes a swim, and it gets worse, right? If you were already like, ugh, gross, the mice start climbing in, and they're all
rats.
the
Rats can
rats.
swim. Yes.
Yeah.
The rats are all swimming, and they start eating at the nerves, and they're like burying into them. Oh God,
They
yeah,
got the blood vessels and everything. Yeah.
it's a horrible way for anybody to go.
Which made me feel like next time I'm downtown, I don't want to think about how many possible rats it would, if they were to be called, would just like, to wherever I'm at. Like, I don't want to think about that because when you see the scene, like you said, it was probably like a million rats from this little island just all converging.
There's a whole bunch of rats downtown, dude. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't mean ratas.
As big as cats.
Yeah, there's some big ones.
I've seen them. Yeah.
And I think that one scene in Ratatouille where at the very beginning they're shooting the chandelier and it comes down, all those rats are there. Yeah, this was much worse. I was like, God.
You know what was funny too is when you see Bloodsport and he sees this wave of rats, and then Ratcatcher has to go and kind of console him a little bit. Like she puts her hand on him so the rats know not to hurt him, And I thought that was funny because he's like, ah! This badass dude's afraid of rats. It kind of reminded me of that scene from Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade.
Snakes.
He hates snakes. He goes,
snakes.
Dad would have never made it this far. He hates rats.
Absolutely. They take out Starro, and in his dying words, he says, as one of the people on the ground, I was happy floating around in space.
Oh my God.
Just looking at the stars. And you're like, oh, poor guy.
One little line, and all of a sudden you feel like horrible for Starro now. Like
He didn't have to
they're
be
just good
here.
at it. Right. You're just floating through space.
he didn't ask to be a slave to the Americans. Mm. Anyways, yeah, so that's that thing, and that was just an epic moment. I love this final act. It's beautifully shot, well written. There's funny moments that are not just jokey for the sake of being jokes. They're actually hilarious moments, and the action sequences are incredible. So, absolutely love all of this to begin with. Um, yeah, the team we we find out they decide they're not going to share the information with the world. They're not going to blow the lid on this whole thing. They're going to use it as leverage to set themselves free. So Harley's back out again, as well as Bloodsport. His daughter's going to be okay, and who knows what happens to Nanawe after this?
Mhm.
King Shark probably just go off to wherever.
Gotta go make
Maybe go.
friends.
Then he
There
went
you
off
go.
to do the Harley Quinn series. That's kind of what
I
we
was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yes, they went and they found an abandoned mall, and they all lived
Yeah,
happily ever
exactly.
after.
Waiting on season 3
There
to
you
see what
are.
happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
So-
That's a great show.
There you are. Let's see. End credit scenes. I don't know if there's anything else I missed. You guys want to talk about it? But we find out towards the end, Weasel's body's just been laying there on the beach, and he actually comes to, spits out some water, and just like walks off into the jungle.
I
So
feel
be on
I
the
feel
lookout.
like
Weasel's still alive.
I feel like James Gunn just kept that character alive, and this is going to be the Kenny of the DCEU movies. Like Kenny died for every single episode of South Park early on. I wonder any movie James Gunn's involved in, we're going to see Weasel just die at one way or another. This is going to be kind of the running joke with this kind of thing. And
Yeah,
that's
That
just
would
South
be kind
Park
of
Easter
funny.
egg.
he'll
yeah.
die right off the bat, and then you see him at the end pop back up.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like you said, it's played by Sean Gunn on
Mhm.
set, so it's just like his brother,
That's how you
doing
make sure his
different
brother.
destinies. Yeah,
How you make sure your brother gets work.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
There you go.
good stuff. It was fun.
yeah. So you had that
Awesome.
one first scene with the weasel, but the big reveal, Ted, was the second end credit scene.
Mhm.
Go for it. Talk about it, Joe.
No, that's when you find out that actually Peacemaker survived the bullet through the neck. He didn't bleed out. They said it was a miracle that his heart was still beating. He's all patched up. He's all messed up. Broken foot, everything. Oh, he's gonna need surgery, but he'll pull through. And the guy, I guess the people that knocked out Waller are now in charge of Peacemaker. So that's gonna
And
be interesting to see how the series plays out.
absolutely. The series has already been filmed. They've already wrapped. Who I don't. I think they'll probably announce it at Fandom when it's going to get released. But they did a Peacemaker spinoff series, and they can do whatever they want on a streaming service. And if I believe James Gunn will, so you don't have to hold back if you're on a HBO Max streaming service. You can do pretty much whatever you want. So be looking out for that. Should be pretty fantastic.
I know JC's gonna be watching it. I mean, Peacemaker's funny as shit, dude.
Oh, definitely for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's gonna be good.
Here comes the part of the show where we talk about a Geekcast rating, 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the Justice League, 5 being Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut, and we want to hear from
one's
you
a
guys.
Justice League.
Of
Justice.
course,
Why isn't one needs to be Wonder Woman 84?
Oh
or
my
that one.
god,
boy.
dude! You
You can
shut your
take
mouth.
whichever you
Oh
want.
boy.
Whew.
Whatever you decide for it to be. It's probably more like Green Lantern. 1 is Green Lantern. That's probably what it really is.
At least it's got Ryan Reynolds though.
And Taika Waititi.
Man.
No,
let's
two
see
would
here.
be Wonder Woman 84, dude.
This is a part of the show where we give a geek.
Who's your damn ratings, guys?
Let us know what you guys think. We want to hear from you guys. What do you rate James Gunn's The Suicide Squad? We'll start off with JC.
4.5 out of 5. It was fun. This is what I kind of expected out of it. You gave James Gunn free will. Warner Brothers did not get involved. Congratulations for actually doing that. But this was just a fun movie. Some things were a bit out there. It did get a little slow in parts too. It's good. It's up and down, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was fun. The Starro thing when he gets comes out of the building and it turns, the movie almost jumps the shark there for a second, And I know for Tina, when she watched it, she was like, you kind of lost me there. But it picked up at the end. I think the final battle made it all worth it. The action sequence at the end. So 4.5 out of 5. I just had a lot of fun. I would definitely watch it again.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Joe, we don't know where you're leaning towards. Give us your cast rating, man.
I thought the movie was enjoyable. I had fun watching it. It's not going to be one of these movies that's going to break new ground, and really do anything exciting. But
Yeah.
the gore part of it, the way that the characters died, the way that it was shot to me was another thing that I liked. I know that for this particular film, James Gunn worked closely with Red, and they had new gimbals, new cameras, new lenses. They were able to get really close to the actors and to the stunt people that were doing the stunt work. So it was felt like you were right in front of the character throughout the movie, which is something that you don't really see a lot of. So I really like that aspect of it. And the story, I mean, it was just one of these movies that you just go and you just don't think about it. Just go and with the flow and go have fun with it. While it was enjoyable, I enjoyed it. I'm just gonna give it a 3.5 because it really wasn't all that wow, like, oh my God, this is a groundbreaking movie. No, it's not one of these. It was just for what it was. I thought it was enjoyable, and I would recommend other people go see it if you want to just go see a fun movie. For that, I just give it a 3.5.
Well said. Well said. Mike, how about you, man?
I think I'm going to go where JC's. I'm going to go 4.5. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It took itself a lot less seriously than the first Suicide Squad did. Um, and it just funny characters. Again, killing them all off in the first 10 minutes. Totally unexpected. When I knew a lot of them were going to die, but I thought it would just be a little bit here, then we go on a little bit here, and I thought they would just kind of slowly be picked off one by one throughout the movie. So to basically kill half the people you were advertising within the first 10 minutes was really something. But I enjoy James Gunn's mixture of comedy, seriousness. Pretty much all the actors did amazing jobs, making you feel for them, kind of being over the top at times. I mean, Cena just he plays that character so well, and but he got serious toward the end when he was having the fight with Flag. You don't get to see that from John Cena that often, even when he's wrestling, because it's all over the top corniness for him. So that was I thought that was really cool from him. So yeah, not a fully perfect movie, but for me, definitely at the top of DC movies, or in the top area. So yeah, 4.5.
And I'm actually a little bit less than you guys. As I mentioned earlier, I think the second act really pulled me out of the momentum that the first act had. So a couple of things I would have lost with Harley Quinn. Loved all the action, loved the characters. I loved a lot of the story for the most part. I'm actually gonna just give this film a 4. So not perfect by any means, not the greatest movie ever, but solid movie. It's a lot of fun. Recommend everybody checking it out, and I can't wait to see what James Gunn will do from here because not only is he doing Peacemaker, but he's also going to be hopefully coming back as DC executives have already said he'll be back to do more things, and that brings our overall Geekcast total to a 4.125. I know JC already did it in his head, so if I'm wrong, tell me.
Yep. Or the calculator. Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
Brett's also in here, says solid 4.5. Appreciate that, Brett. Have a couple of guys on the show that agree with you. And he also says, can we talk about how awesome TDK was? Huge build up to the latest superpower ever. Was so freaking hilarious.
That's what I
We
said.
started we started the show with that, and we were
100%
dying
with you there,
because-
Brett. Yes.
Absolutely, it was just hysterical, and you were like waiting for it and stuff. And even the guards that he was kind of fighting with were just like, what is going on? And they were just like just little slaps, and that's it. That's all it was. Absolutely hysterical, man. Appreciate that, man. All right. I think we might have time to do kind of one more thing, and then let me see. All
I'm
right.
probably going to jump out here if y'all are going to do the
The
rankings.
rankings.
Yeah, I don't
We,
know. I don't know if I
I
have
think
time
we'll
for the
save
rankings, Ted.
I don't
Yeah, it's
think so
getting late.
either.
Yeah.
Might do
Yeah,
that next
that's all
time.
right. We'll save the
Okay.
rankings for next time. Just really quick, I'll just call out a couple of headlines you guys need to check out on our Facebook page. Free Guy came out with these video game themed posters. You absolutely need to check out.
Yeah, those are really cool. I saw
They
that.
did
Mario,
Animal Crossing. I'm
Doom,
so happy. I'm
Animal
so happy.
Crossing,
Yeah.
Among Us.
Street
Fantastic
Fighter.
Street
posters.
Fighter. Yeah.
Absolutely. The Geekcast is going to be getting very busy pretty soon because there's so many TV shows that are dropping this month.
What if starts up?
Titans?
Wednesday.
What if?
Stargirl.
Heels is around the corner.
Mhm.
Heels is
Stargirl.
Sunday. Stargirl. Doom
We
Patrol's
got
in about a month. Yeah.
The
Superman
finale
and
of
Lois. That show
yeah.
is ending. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. Hang out with us each
The
and every
challenge.
week.
Oh, that's my other. Sorry.
F
There you
Boy
go.
Island. F Boy
Keep the
Island.
podcast in
Oh,
order, man.
awesome. Yes. Final 4 episodes this Thursday.
If you
by the
want
way.
to, if you want to check out the most recent trailer for Doom Patrol, head on over to our Facebook page. It looks fantastic. A lot of Easter eggs in that trailer. Gorilla Grodd, a whole bunch of villains that they dropped in that one. Shout out to the Fantastic Four. Happy birthday! Today marks the 60th anniversary of the number one comic of the Fantastic Four. Shout out to Jack Kirby, Stanley, RIP guys. But yeah, happy birthday, 60th anniversary to the Fantastic Four. What If starts Wednesday. We'll probably do an instant reaction to that. So hang out with us Wednesday night, and I don't know if we'll do spoilers or not, but we'll definitely talk about the What If series each and every week. Animaniacs is making a comeback. Well, they've already made a comeback. They're making their second comeback. Season 2 starts November 5th on Hulu. If you haven't seen the Animaniacs season 1 on Hulu, I highly recommend you check it out. It's so damn funny. It's so damn smart. It's well written. Go for it. Please do. And
Can't wait to see what they do the next season. It's going to be so good.
I just want to see what Pinky and the Brain are gonna do. They're my favorites, man.
Leroy
Thank you.
Jenkins.
absolutely. And that's it. Next week we'll be talking about What If, and we'll also be talking about Superman and Lois. The finale will be next week.
Tuesday.
So we'll,
Yeah.
right, next Tuesday.
One
So
other
we will
little
be
kind
talking
of
about the
news related
finale
thing
on
to,
Wednesday. Next
to
Wednesday.
ahead,
throw
Mike.
in, just because
Go
we're
ahead,
talking about Doom Patrol and it's got Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser was apparently cast in a Scorsese movie coming up.
Ooh.
So a lot of people had for him, because I don't know if you followed kind of Brendan Fraser's story of, what he had to deal with after the Mummy movies and some of the stuff. So, it was a cool thing when he came back for Doom Patrol and kind of got back in. And apparently he's getting into a Scorsese movie. So
Very good.
just shout out to him because, that's just such an awesome guy. His stuff in the Mummy and all those earlier movies, Encino Man and stuff, just great. It's kind of great to see him back at it. And it seems like healthier than some of the stuff he was dealing with before. So
That's really good.
Absolutely.
yeah.
And did you mention? I think I saw this. We have a Blue Beetle cast for a live action.
Oh, yeah.
Blue Beetle. You
That's
know,
right.
I'm very excited for the casting too.
Yes.
So if you don't know, look it up. It's pretty exciting.
I was
So
going to say, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's the guy from Cobra Kai.
it's
Yeah.
Miguel from Cobra Kai. And what is that real or not? You're kind of
No,
clenching your teeth.
It's
So-
absolutely real. I always figure out how to say his name and then I forget it. So I
Yeah.
think it's kind of like Cholo, but not exactly. So it's like
Don't say Cholo.
Cholo.
I'm not kidding you. That's not
I know.
It's almost like Cholo, but it's like Zolo. So it's like
Yeah. So
Cholo.
They're shooting Blue Beetle on the south side or what?
we'll see him in season 4 of Cobra Kai, and I'm wondering if this is the last season of Cobra Kai. I mean, they're kind of.
They haven't announced it, but they
Yeah.
have to be coming towards the end pretty soon.
I mean, with Terry
I mean,
Silver coming in, I feel like what else are you going to go into?
Hillary
you know?
Swank, you going to bring her in there? Or?
I mean, she said she would be down if they found a way to get her.
Did she
character in.
really?
She did say that when they started the
Wow.
series. So,
Oh.
and I'm
Wow.
sure she would still hold to that. So
Your
or,
cat.
or Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
I mean, you never.
Your cat just
Well,
walked in, JC,
technically,
by the
he's
way.
the Kung Fu Kid. Yeah, I know.
I
that's not
agree
the-
with you 100%. But
Technically, he's the Kung Fu Kid, so I don't think you would consider him. But
I just
I mean,
thought it was funny.
First of all, I do appreciate Netflix picking this up, making a season out of it. They did it for Designated Survivor when that show got dropped. They made an extra season. I really hope they do it for Manifest because when they brought Manifest over, it went crazy. And so by that token, it's showing that these shows that get canceled elsewhere can make a comeback and do something well. So HBO Max, get on your fucking ass and bring back Krypton season 3. Everyone wants to see it.
I want to see it.
When they canceled it after the second season, I read a description on the show what the opening of season 3 would have been. And my God, if you're opening with Jor-El potentially landing in the Soviet Union with Brainiac acting as his father, tell me you don't want to see that on screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so come on, give me season 3 of Krypton. So,
that would be amazing.
Please.
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll do it for this episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. Once again, let us know what you thought about the Suicide Squad. Drop it in the comments. You can send us a message by clicking the send message button on Facebook, or you can email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdown6geekcast.com. For the Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. Man, JC.
Thanks for watching. # bring back Krypton. And check us out on the WrestleCast tomorrow. We'll be previewing New Japan Resurgence and talking about a lot more releases on the WWE side of things. I have a pretty good idea.
Pretty much every show now.
Pretty much this is going to be going on for the rest of the year. I wouldn't doubt it. So, it's that to say.
We also got the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And hopefully you all can go ahead and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. And also make sure you turn those alerts on so you can get notified when we have a new episode that's up and running. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. And last but never the least, the one and only Mike.
Thanks, guys. Always appreciate being on here. Geekcast, just be good to each other, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the WrestleCast.
Talk to y'all next week. Have a good night.
Peace.